right, so there's my intro music. When you guys asked for some intro music, there you go. All right, so today we review for test 4, second review for test 4. And the first thing we're going to do is graph a couple lines. So the first thing I'm going to do is with the table. I'm going to go y equals, this is problem number 1. You should copy this down, make sure you got some graph paper there. I go y equals 3x minus 4. And here I'm going to make my little x table, y table. The next couple I'll just graph with the slope and y-intercept. So if I went, -2, -1, 0, 1, and plug these values in, I will get my y-coordinates. So if I plug in -2 for x, so I got y equals 3 times -2 minus 4. 3 times -2 is -6. -6 minus 4 is -10. That's a big one, won't even fit on my graph. If I would change that -2 to a -1, I got -3 is, and -4 is -7. If I change it to 0, 0 is my favorite one to work with because when you multiply by 0, you get 0. So 0 minus 4 is -4. And if I plug in 1, I get 3 minus 4 is -1. So there's some points I can graph here on my line, or my graph rather. We'll start with 0, -4. Here. I had 1, -7 farther over. And 1, -1 is here. So remember, if you make your points and they don't actually make a line, then you made a mistake and you should go back and check your work. You probably made a mistake somewhere. These look good. They're all 3 in a row, like in a line. And moving on to the next question. All right, so number 2, graph this one. I'm going to do this one with the y-intercept and the slope. Graph y equals -2/5 x minus 1. So this one, I'm going to start at the y-intercept. The y-intercept is what is b, y equals mx plus b, which in this case is -1. So that's where it crosses the y-axis. So put a dot there, and then I can do -2/5 slope. Negative slope goes that direction. Once again, make sure you have your 4 slopes memorized. Positive goes this way, negative goes that way, undefined is straight up and down, and horizontal straight across is 0 slope. Alright, so -2/5. So I'm going to go that direction. I'm going to go up and to the left or down and to the right. So if I go, the rise is 2, and the run is 5. So that's up 2, left 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ran out of space real quick. I'll go down to right 5. So I can have a third point, which is here. And then I can make my points, make my line. Hello. There we go. Okay. And there's the line. And then you can look at, gee, does it make sense? Does it have a -1 y-intercept? Does it have negative slope? Yeah, it does. Okay. Last one I'll do is the easy one that students often mess up, y equals x. There is no y-intercept written there, which means it is 0. You can always plug in a 0 if there's nothing there. And so that's where it crosses the y-axis, and this has a slope of 1. There's an implied 1 in front of that x, so it's 1 over 1, which means I go up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1. There's my points, and once you got your points, you can make your line. Oop, didn't work. Okay, and there's your line, y equals x. Questions? Nope, great, moving on. All right, next one. What equation goes with this table? This is problem number 4. Okay, and the table is this, x, y, and I got 0, 4, 1, 2, 2, 0, and 3, -2. Okay, so I need a y equals something times x plus something. All right, so if I start looking at this graph, the first thing is it's really nice they gave me what x is when x is 0, y is 4, because that's my y-intercept. Sometimes it may not be there, and you'd have to go and analyze the table and extend it. I'll come back to that in a minute. If I go this way, I usually start at the bottom and go up. -2 minus 0, 0 minus 2, that's -2. And that is going to be what my slope is here. Okay, now let me go back for a second. Supposing they hadn't given me this, and I would have looked at them and like, gee, I need to know what y is when x is 0. And I go, gee, I subtracted 2 to get from -2 to 0. Actually, I added 2, right? If you're going up, you added 2 up the table, which means this is going to be 4, because I added 2 to get from here to here. Okay, so that's how you do it, and then you get the 4 that way. All right. Number 5. Find the range. This is a new one. I haven't shown you one of these problems yet. So it's a good thing you're watching the video and taking notes. It says, find the range of the function for the given domain. For the given domain. Okay, and they give us the function. The function is f of x. Remember, the f of x is really like a y, okay? I'm going to write that down. I'd like you to also. You can kind of interchange them some if you want. All right. Now, we learned more about functions in class and how there is really a little more to it. A function's got to pass a vertical line test. Not everything that has a y does. So, but anyway, they are very similar. So if I go back to this, the function is negative f of x equals -4x plus 1, and the domain is -2, -1, 0, and 1. And what I need is the range. So thinking back on what the domain and the range are, remember the domain is the x values and the range is the y. So they're telling me that these are the values for x right here. So if I substitute those in one at a time into the function, I'll get the range. So if I plug in -2 here, I get -4 times -2 is +8, and 8 plus 1 is 9. If I take -4 times -1 plus 1, I'll get the next one. I'm just taking that one and plugging it in. And I got -4 plus 1 is -3. Oh, this should have been negative. Did I make a mistake? No, I messed this one up. -4 times -1 is +4, which gives me 5. If I take the 0 and plug it in, I won't mess this one up, that's 1. And if I, last but not least, if I plugged in the 1, I get -3. Okay? So those would be the range. Let me put them in the parentheses over here. 5, 5, 1, and -3. And that's the answer. Okay? So there's a new one for you. You will probably see one of those on your test. Make sure you had it written down. Excuse me. Last one. My last problem. What is the 200th number in the sequence? And the sequence is 4, 9, 14, and 19. So you have that wonderful arithmetic formula, which is a of n equals a of 1 plus n minus 1 times d. You do not have to memorize that formula. You should have it written on your formula sheets. Now I need a couple things. I need a of 1, I need d. A of 1, that's the first number in the sequence, 4. D is the common difference. Remember, if you subtract the 9 minus 4, you'll get the common difference. They better all be the same too. This one says it's a sequence, so you can probably assume it. But you could have done some math quickly, gone 14 minus 9 is also 5, 19 minus 14 is 5, which means the common difference is 5. Okay, and now I'm going to write my new formula, plug in the numbers. I got 4 plus n minus 1, and d is 5. And they want to know what was the 200th number in the sequence. But I didn't do that by hand. I mean, you could have sat in there and gone 19 plus 5, 24 plus 5, but you'd have been there all day. All right, so if I plug in 200 for n, I will get my answer. Okay, so 200 minus 1 is 199, and 199 times 5 is 995, plus 4 is 999. Nice. Oh, 999. Okay. Questions? Nope. Great. If you do, bring them to class. Thank you very much. Otherwise, rewind and hit play again. Have a great night. See you all tomorrow.